Welcome back, Pomoco Hampton. Coach Jamie here, back with part two of my mystery shop. Now, I submitted my lead to your dealership under the name Amber Alexander, inquiring on a 2005 Ford Focus wagon, and this was sent Thursday, April 23rd at 5:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, the first response received was an automated response email at 5:16, so that was only 1 minute later. Now, first, I would just like to talk about that. Remember, as we don't recommend that automated response unless your dealership is closed. Now, I do believe that it was open at that time, but maybe you closed early. I know it was later in the day. However, if you are going to send the auto response, remember we want it to appear to be personal. So while you did do a nice job referring to the customer by her first name, and it also does appear to have come from someone. So to me, it does look like a personal response. However, the only thing you do want to work on is that response time. So when sending an automated response email, we want to set these to be sent at least 3 to 5 minutes after the lead is received at your dealership. This way it gives it that more personal feel. Now, it was received in my inbox versus spam folder, which is a huge positive, and there are also no spelling or grammar errors. However, in the future, you want to include more content if you are going to be sending this. So, I just want to go over this with you. You want to build value. So, here's where you want to include any special incentives or offerings, some type of freebies. Think like a customer and give them a what's in it for them type of statement. So we want to sway their opinion towards your dealership over that competition. Next, attempt to elicit a response from the customer as well. So we want to include a question in this email somewhere in the body that will prompt the customer to hit that reply button. In addition, we also want to include a complete signature file here. So while we do have your name, title, dealership name, and your direct dial phone number, also be sure that you are including your personal email. Now, there is a link here back to your dealership's website, which is great. In the future, though, this really should be included in that file. Now, the next response that was received was a personal email, which was the following morning at 7:24 a.m. Now, due to the fact that I did submit the lead later in the day, the night before, I did give you credit for a perfect response time. Reason being is you immediately reached out to the customer the following morning. So, excellent job with that. Now, just be sure that you are first attempting to reach the customer by phone. Remember, the goal is to get them on the line and then send a follow up email to that phone call, thanking them for taking the time to speak with you and confirming next steps with them. So, the only time you want to send the email first is if you've already tried to reach your customer and you were unsuccessful doing so. Now, for this email, when sending before speaking with the customer, there is a lot more content that we look for. So I do just want to review this with you first. So while it was received in my inbox versus spam folder, be sure that we're including a bit more of an attention grabbing subject line. So this should also clearly define whom it came from as well. And it's important to include that attention grabbing subject. I always suggest the vehicle of interest along with the dealership name, an exclamation point, something that's going to stand out. So you want to say something like, your 2005 Focus is waiting for you here, Pomoco Auto Group, exclamation point. Now, keep in mind that when your email arrives in a subscriber's inbox, you generally have about half a second to catch their attention with that subject. After this, they will either delete your email or completely ignore it. So, we definitely want to make sure that that stands out. Now, I do like your banner here. Just be sure that you are also offering information on that exact vehicle. While you do a nice job validating the customer's choice by saying it's in good shape, you also do advise the availability of the vehicle. We also want to offer alternative vehicle options along with alternative pricing. You do answer the question asked in the lead. I did ask if it was available. But you also want to be sure to mention that you will be setting up a future phone call with the customer. We want the customer to know what to expect from us and be ready for that call. For your signature file, include that personal email address there as well. We also want to attach a link. Any link would be acceptable. Some examples are to your inventory, directions, pre approval, or even a video that is the best link. This helps your customer feel further connected with you and you can build on that rapport. You also want to build that value. So, again, this could be your mission statement. Talk about your dealership's great reputation and give the customer a reason to choose you. Also, we want to make sure it is free of all spelling or grammatical errors. So, you want to actually address the customer. We want this to look more professional. So, we should really change this whole thing. You want to address the customer, you want to include complete sentences, use capitalization when necessary, the proper commas. So we definitely want to work on that. Remember, it should always look professional. So there shouldn't be any typos or misspellings. So always use spell check before sending it to the customer. Now, finally, I received a phone call attempt, and this was at 7:36 a.m. Great voicemail message left, by the way. I did end up calling the dealership back, and then Mark reached out to me again. So we finally got each other on the line. Now, listen to the audio portion of this shop for all of my scoring comments in regards to the call. Your secret code is success, SUCCESS. Thank you so much for your time today.